All right, my friends, so the barbell approach to retirement income planning is literally just like this, like a barbell, you know, like the drawings of the old gold gym guy with the muscles bulging. He's got this, now that bar be going like that, but we have $400,000 of assets, of liquid assets, IRAs and things of that nature. Husband and wife come to me and said, Josh, I got $400,000. We're doomed, aren't we? And I said, well, let's look at this for sure. All right, they need $50,000 a year of income, of which they're getting $30,000 from Social Security. So that's $30,000 a year from Social Security is $2,500 a month, my friends. That's not, I mean, literally, that is not Jeffrey Bezos type of income from Social Security. All right. So that means they need $20,000 a year from their portfolio. $20,000 from a $400,000 portfolio is 5% a year. Trust me, I calculated before I did this to make sure my numbers are right. All right, so you see how that works. I mean, you're saying I need $20,000 a year. I got $400,000 to work with from my portfolio. I got $30,000 from Social Security. So what I'm going to do is, well, I'm going to advise them, is you put 300% or $300,000 of that money, or 75% into stocks and 25% into bonds. Essentially a 3-to-1 ratio, if you will. In this case, it doesn't matter. But we're just basically saying we got 5 years of income. 5 years of income. All right. Now you can have 3 to 5. The more, the better. But we don't have. You shouldn't have more than 5 years. Let's just put it that way. Because you have more than 5 years, it does become quite inefficient where you're not getting enough upside the markets. All right. So if you look at our trusty thing here, we say, okay, so we have 5 years of income. Now, right now, the Ginnie Mae's probably paying 2.5%. You know, CD's probably 2.5%. Cash is probably 1.7 or something like that. So we're just going to say averages 2.5% with no downside risk at all. Now, we're just going to assume no downside risk whatsoever. But we're not even going to use it. 2.5% is $2,500 a year of interest, too, by the way. We're not even going to use that. We're just going to pretend like it doesn't exist because I want to focus on this side right here. All right. So they need $20,000 a year of income. All right, so what happens here? If this goes up, they pull a 20K there. Oops. If this goes down, they pull the 20K from here. Oops. You see, I mean, literally, it's that simple. If this goes up in the first year, they pull it from there. If this goes down in the first year, they pull it from here. All right. And if this goes up and then down, they pull it from here. Any year that this is down, they pull the income from here. It's literally that simple. I mean, literally, just that simple. Any year this is down. Now, the ideal thing, if this was in 2000, so it's down 9, down 12, and down 22. So let's look at this. In 2000, it's down 9. So we got $300,000 minus 9%, minus 12%, minus 22%. So it's at 187 in 2000, and so at the end of 2001, 0, 1, and 2, at the end of 2002 is down to 187. All right, so now the following year, so we've taken 3 years out of this. So let me erase this real quick. So now we're at the end of 2002, and I think 2002 is absolutely the way to look at it, as opposed to like 2000. You can look at 2008 as well, but 2002 is more. There's a longer time frame of literally it went into in March of 2003. The mark is going down. So 2002, you had to spread your distribution out over a longer time frame, literally 3 years. So at the end of 2002, this was down to 187, and we got we got 40,000 in here. Oops. That's going to have to work. We got 40,000 here, all right? So now what do you do next? Because the following year, if memory serves, this 187 was up 29% or something like that. So in 2003, I think it's up 29%. All right, so now this is what we're looking at. 187 times 1.29. This is up to 241. Now, so we're sitting at 241 and 40 at the end of 2000. This is probably 42, but at the end of 2003. So at the end of 2000, we took the money from here. At the end of 2001, we took the money from here. At the end of 2002, we took the money from here. At the end of 2003, well, we have this a choice to make. Do we take it from here at 241, or do we take it from here at 40? And that's the scenario that it gets a little bit dicey, because you're like, man, If you take it from here, you're allowing this to go up again another year. But if you take it from here, then you're literally locking in some losses because you started with $300,000. I would take it from here. All right, now the situation will always dictate, but I would take it from here. And the reason I would is I want to get that. I'm trying to get this as much as I can close to $300,000 again before I start drawing it out. That's the whole reason you have 5 years. I want to get that as close to $300,000. And if memory serves, in 2003, 29%, 2004, I'll say 7%. So now we're at 20K here. And 241 times 7, I think it was 7%, 2004 times 1.07, is that 258. All right, so now we're at 2005. We're going into 2005. We got 20,000 here, 258 there. What do? That's the challenge, man, because now you're sitting there thinking, ooh, I think in this case you got to start pulling from here now. I really, really do. So now you're like, all right, and this is where it gets tough. You're like, I'm going to pull the 20K from here because I want to keep enough to cover me when the markets do go south. As we remember in 2008, it did. So now I'm at 238. I think in 2005, we weren't up much. I think we're up 5%. So we go 258 times 1.05. We're at 271 minus 20,000. So we're at 251 at the end of 2005. Here it's still at 20. All right, 2006, I don't remember what the markets did. I just don't recall. Let's say 10%. I just don't remember. So we're up 10%. So we're at 298 here before we pulled money out. 298. And again, we're still at 20 because we haven't done anything. I'm pulling the money out again from here. All right, so now we're at 278. That's in 2006. And we're getting close to 300,000 again. So now I'm still sitting on 20,000 here, and I'm just sitting on that as my kind of my reserve account. So this is dicey. Now this won't likely happen. We haven't had too many instances of people retiring in 2001 and 2, and then getting killed in 2008. It has happened. We haven't had too many instances. It's just not likely to happen. But this is the worst case scenario. So 2006, I don't remember what the market. We'll just say 5% again. I just don't recall. So we're at 278. Plus, we'll say 5% again. We're back at 291. All right. So in 2000 was 26 or so, I can't remember. We're at 291. We're going to take 20 out. So we're right back at 271. All right. So we're still at 70 here. All right. So here's the problem. 2008 comes around and we're down 37%. 2008 comes around. We're down 37%. Minus 37%. We are down to 170. All right. Now we're exhausting this, so now we got nothing. So here we're down to 170, we got nothing. All right, 170 and 0. So I mean, in this stage, again, that is literally the worst scenario we've ever had, even worse than 73, 74, relative to what we're trying to solve here, which is pulling money off the table while retired. Now we have 3 instances, the aughts, the 70s, and the 30s. We've had 3 instances of pretty bad, dicey retirement planning years. But we're now 8 years in, all right? I mean, if you retired at 65 in 2000, now you're 73 years old. I mean, is your spending going to still need 20,000 a year? I don't know. I'm just saying, even after all this, with pulling 5% a year out, we are still at 170, even though we don't have anything here. So now we're just going to have to ride this. That's all we're going to have to do. And thankfully, I already pulled the 20,000 off. No, I didn't pull it from here. So now we got nothing. Now we're just going to have to ride this guy. There's no other way around that. So you say, okay, 170, I think the markets were up 20% the next year, and 29%. So we're at 219 minus the 20,000 we're taking out. We're at 200,000. Oops, because we pulled the 20K out. Now you're just gonna have to ride. You're gonna have to let it ride for sure. And if that means you gotta do some belt tighten, you gotta do some belt tighten. But at the end of the day, what happened was you more than made up for not having any money here, to the extent that $200,000, even though you're pulling 10% a year off, over the next 10 years, you've done pretty well, my friends. Now, at the end of 20, you're probably in a bad place. But then you're 85 years old. That's the issue with like a reverse mortgage or something like that. If this time were to come and you want to avoid drawing this down or taking that, well, just do a reverse mortgage. Just have it at the ready, just in case you do have to retire at the worst case scenario. It's not likely to happen. But if it were, you want to avoid, because by 10 years from now, if you're taking 10% a year out, which you are, there's no way this is going to survive. It's not. And you're out here because you happen to retire in the worst possible scenario. And you can say the 4% rule, we can, instead of doing 5%, we can do 4%, 16,000. It's going to be the same. You still run out of money. And the reason you run out of money is simply because the market in the odds was so bad. If you retired in the odds, you are in a world of hurt. It's just bad luck, man. Now, the interesting thing is if you had the Wellington Fund, you did not get crushed nearly to the extent that the markets did in 2008. 2000, you didn't lose any money. 2001, I don't think the Wellington lost money in 2001. 2002, it did, but not to the extent at all of what the S&P 500 did. And that's the benefit of the Wellington Fund, or a fund similar to that, is that it did give you the reprieve when the markets got chaotic in 2000, 2001, and 2002, and then again 2008. They did, of those four significant down years, the Wellington Fund was down, two of them pretty significantly, but two they were not, which meant you didn't have to take money out of here. You were able to take money out of here instead because the Wellington Fund was up. Hope that makes sense, but just this is the worst case scenario right there. Just showed it to you, and he still lasted 20 years roughly. So that could be enough to get the job done? Probably not. Is there a better alternative? I don't know what it would be, frankly. I don't know, other than having a reverse mortgage at the ready. So that way, when you're in this situation right here, you have another source of income you can draw on, as opposed to drawing down a 10% distribution rate on $200,000 that's left. It's not a bad method at all. Wellington Fund would have rescued you in this scenario, but the Wellington Fund kind of serves as the three buckets, because you do have some bonds in the Wellington, but it didn't give you the same upside. That's the drawback. But when you're in retirement, the upside is less beneficial than watching the downside risk. So I hope this helps. The barbell approach is wonderful. I love it. It's simple. It's not likely this worst case scenario will happen, but even if it were to happen, there is no escaping. There's no escaping the magnificent drawdown that we saw in the odds. I don't care if you're Warren Buffett, if you're just some Joe Schmo with his dog in his basement in Milton, Georgia, you got hammered. And if you're taking money out of your portfolio to live on during those times, there's no escaping it, my friends. I don't care what you had. You got hammered. And 20 years from now, if 20 years hence, you're still not sitting pretty. But there are alternatives too, which is reverse mortgage, in which maybe either reduce the amount of money you need from the portfolio or to give you the reprieve from having to pull out. So that's one of the reasons why you need to look at those. All right, hope this helps. We'll see you.